Hello and welcome to my video. So today I'm going to teach you a math hack and I really hope it's useful. It's for multiplying and dividing by 5. I came up with this hack, I had never heard of this hack before, so I came up with it, but then after I noticed the pattern, I looked it up and turns out this is already a hack that people know about, so that sucks. But a lot of people actually don't know about it, so I'm going to teach it to you today. And I hope it's very useful. It's been very useful for me, so I really hope this changes your whole entire life. Okay, let's get into the video. Okay, we're here. Okay, so first I will go over how it works and I'll just show you an example problem. Okay, so for example, we have 4 times 5, and we have to find out what that equals. So to do this example, you would divide 4 by 2, which equals 2, and we're going to say 2.0, and then you move the decimal place 1 to the right, which you end up with 20, and then 4 times 5, of course, equals 20. So that's just a little example for this problem. But then I'll show you the formula and some more in-depth equations for this, because you can do any number in the world with this formula. So the formula for timesing or multiplying by 5 would be 5 times whatever your number is, so we'll say x, equals your number, or x, divided by 2, and then you times that by 10. Times, this is a times, or that's a times. I'm going to use dots for times, okay? So that's your formula for multiplying by 5. You can write it a few different ways, like this. Right? Or you can do it like this. Those all mean the same thing. So whatever you're more comfortable with. So there's also another way you can write this. You can write, instead of 5x, you can put y instead. And you'll just have to know that y is 5 times whatever your number is that you're multiplying by 5. But sometimes it's easier to just use x's instead of x's and y's for some people. So whatever you're more comfortable with, that's how you would do it. So the one for dividing by 5 would be x over 5, or x divided by 5, could also be written like this. Okay, x divided by 5 equals 2 times x divided by 10. So you could write this one many different ways too. You can write it 2x divided by 10. You can write 2 times x divided by 10. You can even do 2 divided by 10 times x. It doesn't matter what order you do it in, as long as you do multiply by 2 and divide by 10. It doesn't matter what order those are in. Same thing with the multiplying, doesn't matter the order. Alright, so now I'm going to tell you a good way to remember what needs to be done for each one. So if you don't have the formula in front of you, here's a good way to remember what you need to do. So multiplying by 5, you are multiplying by 10, but dividing by 2. So if I was to put this into a different type of fraction, like I can do 10 times your number, all divided by 2. The 10 and the 2 cancel out, so you're left with 5 times your number. So it really is just doing this, but you're doing it in different, more steps, but they're easier steps, so which makes it easier. Same thing with x divided by 5. You can rewrite this as 2x divided by 10, and then your 2 and your 10 would cancel out, so you would just have x over 5, or 1x over 5. Same thing, so, and that's the same as that. Okay, so I'm just going to keep these formula is written at the top of the whiteboard so you can see them at all times. And I'm going to move into some more examples. So we are going to do an example for dividing by 5. So let's use 30. So if we're going to plug 30 in as our x. So we got 30 divided by 5. Okay, we can't figure that out. Okay, so we're going to do 2 times 30, and that divided by 10. So 2 times 30 is 60, and 60 divided by 10 equals 6. And now we know 30 divided by 5 equals 6. Okay, so let's do another example. Let's do 100 divided by 5, which is still a simple number, but it's bigger. Okay, so we're going to plug it in for our x, 100 divided by 5. And keep this in mind that you can do this in your head once you're comfortable with it. Once you remember, okay, if I'm multiplying, I divide by 2 and multiply by 10. And if I'm dividing by 5, then I multiply by 2 and divide by 10. It's just opposite. And what the 10 is doing is really just moving the decimal place over. So I'll show you this in this next example. So 100 divided by 5, we have 2 times our 100, and then we divide that by 10. Okay, so we got 2 times 100, which is 200. And then what the dividing by 10 is doing is taking the decimal, because there's an invisible decimal right there, okay? So we're dividing that by 10, and dividing by 10 is essentially just moving your decimal place 1 to the left. So now we have 20.00, and we can take those zeros out, and we're left with 20. So, and that's the answer. So we have 100 divided by 5 equals 20. And this does work for any number. So the next number I'm going to do is, let's try 17 divided by 5. That's a weird one, right? So we got 17 divided by 5. We have 2 times 17 and divide that by 10. So 2 times 17 is 34 divided by 10. So we move the decimal place 1 to the left. So we end up with 3.4. So that is what that equals. In the comments, if you have any questions, leave them down below and I will try to answer any questions that you have. Let's do 0.24 divided by 5. So that would be 2 times 0.24 divided by 10. Okay, so this one equals 0.48 divided by 10. Dividing by 10 moves that decimal place 1 to the left. So now we end up with 0.048. That is our answer. Okay, we're back here now. So I think that math hack, trick, whatever you want to call it, should be taught to people when they learn like those kind of things. Like I know there's one like dividing by 3s or multiplying by 3s or something. So there's like a bunch of math tricks that we learn, but I think this would be a really useful one for kids to learn, maybe like in later elementary school or something. I just think it would be helpful. So I think this should be taught more. And if you have any questions about how to do it, if I didn't explain it well enough, let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer your questions. Yeah. So that's it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. If you want to see more of me, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and I hope to see you again. Okay, bye!